I'm too healed to let my past define me, copy my state. A lot of people think that healing their traumatic past is going to take a lot of time, that it's going to be really painful, you have to relive all those memories, or that you're going to have to forgive people very quickly when you're not ready to forgive. But what if I told you healing your traumatic past was a lot more gentler, a lot more faster, and a lot more easier? I come from a history of a lot of relational trauma, a lot of mental health issues, a lot of self-esteem issues, a lot of failure, a lot of bullying. You know my history, my past. But today, I've rewired myself, my energy at a cellular level that I'm no longer that person. I cannot relate to who that person was. Also, my life is 360 degrees different. That was a life of chaos. This is a life of peace. How I did it was 5 things that I'm going to share today in this video. Hello and welcome. My name is Kartika Nair and you're watching Synchro Shakti. So the very first thing, so if you want to look at healing, it's kind of like layers of an iceberg. The first layer that I had to master for healing my traumatic past was to take a very scientific hat towards my past. As a scientist, I had to understand the core emotions that I was experiencing as a child. When I grew up, firstly, very sensitive as a kid, I grew up in a world where sensitivity was not a virtue, it was not a value, it was shamed. I also grew up in a world where there was a lot of teaching through shame and through fear. So schooling, college, everything was basically the teachers, the administration had the right to shame you or the right to put negative thoughts in you in order for you to perform. So I generally grew up with this feeling of not being loved, not being acknowledged, not being understood, not being important, not being seen, not being held, not being heard, not being important, which is a huge part, significance. So because those were my core concepts that I learned about myself through the ways other people treated me, is how my core concept was. So the first scientific learning that I had to do was understanding my core concepts. What were the ways in which I was feeling about myself? The second scientific hat I had to wear was understanding nature of reality is vibrational. We live in a vibrational universe. How we vibrate is what we attract into our lives. I know as a child I vibrated heavily in victimhood and in fear and in low self-esteem. So I attracted a lot of situations that put me back in victimhood, a lot of low self-esteem, a lot of fearful situations. Now, this is not victim blaming, shaming. This is just because I care about healing my past. I don't want to live in my past. I took the hat of looking at it very scientifically. Why did I attract the kind of people I attracted? Why did I attract the kind of experiences I attracted? What was really going on in my vibration? The third part of understanding things scientifically was understanding human behavior. Why do hurt people choose to hurt other people? Why do people who have so much insignificance and insecurity within themselves want to push other people down? Why do narcissist people exist? All of these things I had to study for the simple reason that when I took a scientific, more logical hat towards my past, I was no longer the victim. I was the scientist studying so that I could have a better experience of the kind of people, the kind of core concept, and the kind of vibration I choose to hold from my present. Do you see why it's important to do first step of the layer? If you saw it's important, just type important. Now, how does this knowledge really help us? This is where the second step comes in. The second part of me healing my traumatic past was called reparenting. Because as a child, I lived constantly in the feelings of fear, insignificance, not feeling good enough. I had to teach that child 2 things. Number 1, I had to show that child, so you don't have to relive the memory. You can just go back to the way that kid was feeling in your childhood, in my childhood, and show her an alternate perspective about the same reality she was experiencing. So I showed her 2 things. Number 1, I showed her that she was absolutely lovable, that she is valuable, that she is a good person, and I gave her all this evidence from her life that she's not yet lived. She's still living in the past. So I'm showing her, no, the truth is this. See this. There's so many people who do absolutely love you. I love you because I see you. You're so cool. You're someone who can understand people. You're somebody you have so much empathy. You want to help people. You're such a beautiful heart that makes you really lovable. And in 2025, having a beautiful heart is a value. And you know what? People are going to love that heart of yours. So I'm teaching her to see herself very differently. It's called reparent. The second thing that I taught her was to understand people. So I told her, you are like, imagine if you're an alien that has come to planet Earth. You came to planet Earth to see, to look around, to understand, right? You are doing field research. So I told her, listen, you are someone who came here to understand people, especially hurt people, so that you can help heal them when you grow up. So you're not a victim to all these bullies. You're here to understand bullying, so you can help heal these bullies when you grow older. That is what I tell her. So then she doesn't feel like she's the victim of all the bullying. She looks at herself as a field researcher, understanding bullies, understanding their pain points, so that when she grows up, she can help heal people and help other people live better, more harmonious lives. So now, when all of my past versions of me see themselves as teachers coming here to help people heal, healers, so I call her a healer. And healer is a very special soul. So she sees herself, she's reparented to, instead of seeing herself as a scum of the earth, not good enough to live, fugitive on earth. I felt like I thought I'm doing them a disservice that they would look at my face. I had to reteach her how to see herself and to understand people. So reparenting really helps. It's like the butterfly effect. The one child inside of you that feels empowered affects so many layers of your consciousness and your psyche. So this is the second part. Now we know that these two are still logical. We haven't done the actual emotional healing. So logic does not trump emotions. We know that there's a big highway between the logical side of your brain and the emotional side of the brain. So logic does not heal anything, but it's a good first 2 steps to take. So now let's look at the emotional healing. Without having to revisit the past, without having to go through any of those memories, you can still heal your entire past. How? Like this. Today, when you have a reaction, let's say for example, someone did not reply to your message and you immediately start feeling not seen, not important, you start feeling like they don't value you. You have such a huge negative reaction to the fact that they didn't reply to your message. They left you unseen and it hurts so much. That hurt is not because of this message. That hurt is because of the past where you felt so unseen, so unheard, so hurt, so broken, so rejected from people. That is the one that's causing that reaction. So the good news is if you can sit with this reaction that you're having in your body today, that anger, that anxiety, that extreme reaction you're having, the hurt, that's not just today, that's the whole past appearing in your body. So healing that today is healing the entire past. How do you do that? You sit with it like you're watching TV without judging anything, without resisting, without trying to get rid of the feelings, just making friends with those, the heaviness in the chest, the lump in your throat, the headache, the backache, the butterflies in your stomach. I used to have this big ball of anxiety in my stomach that I would hug, and I call her because she's female to me. That anxiety ball was my friend and I would breathe with her, and all of that anxiety ball held so many experiences in my past, and as I dissolved that anxiety ball, it dissolved so much of that past from my nervous system, which is why I live a very different life today, because I don't live in a constant reality where I kept getting hit for something or the other that kept the anxiety alive. That is why life is peaceful, because there is a lot more peace in the body. So that is really cool. That's how you heal. But there are some memories that are sometimes way too powerful for you to sit with. Sometimes they just flash in your mind, or they just can't stop coming into your mind because there's so much trauma behind it. So in this case, we do the fourth part. The fourth part that I used was NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Basically what NLP can do is it can take a memory and it can completely scramble it up like scrambled eggs. You won't be able to figure out what happened. You can move the memory forward and back. You can change the colors. You can add more elements. You can practice an alternate ending. You can do so many things with NLP that when you bring up that memory, you can't remember what happened. That is one beautiful thing that NLP can do. Another beautiful thing NLP can do is it can totally drain out all the negative emotions from a memory. So you might remember the memory, but you don't feel anything towards it. So there are a lot of techniques like disassociation, or just draining out the colors, pushing the memory into the distance, exploding it. There's so many NLP techniques. You can go online and check them out. That can completely remove the emotions from the memories. So you might remember it, so you can learn from it. You get some insight to understand the past, so you can do better in the future. But it will not bother you anymore. So that was the NLP part. Now, this title of this video was that I don't let the past define me. So what do I let define me? This brings me to the fifth point of this video. What defines me is my focus on all the good things that are inside of me. Remember, There's so much of good inside everybody. You haven't even started seeing it. Most people start doing self-appreciation. Day 1, they cannot put 2 things on their list. They're still struggling day 10. But there are so many. Once you start looking for the goodness inside of you, in your spirit, your heart, the things you do, the things you say, the way you think, how phenomenally your brain is understanding this video, the fact that you're here trying to improve your life, is that not a wonderful person? To start loving and appreciating yourself will absolutely define you in a really good light. But also, in your past, there were a lot of moments that were very, very good. And you can use those good moments to define your life instead of using the traumatic moments. Let me give you an example. For many years of my life, I never even believed there was a good moment in my life. Today, I live in a life where every time I meditate, I have so many good moments from my past coming up, and I was like, oh, I actually had good things happening in my life. I actually had fun moments, but my brain had blocked it all off because it was only focusing on all the negative that happened. So looking back, bringing back those good memories and defining, or at least the memories that you have peaceful energy around, defining your life from will redefine you. Therefore, achieving our objective of, firstly, being so healed from the past that you're not defined by it, and secondly, having a new definition of yourself and life, thus creating a completely new experience of life. How exciting is that? Are you excited? If you're excited, just type excited in the chat. If you like this lesson, just check my pinned comments. I have 12 more of such powerful lessons in my ebook. It's called The 12 Lessons of Freedom. It will absolutely help you heal from your past and create a new future. Go check out my ebook. It's a hug from God, from the universe. Go check out the ebook. Having said that, let's summarize. So there are 5 ways in which healing can happen to release the traumatic past and create something new. The first one, as I said, was taking the scientific hack to understand the past instead of being a victim to it. The second one was reparenting, teaching the child inside of us to see herself or himself differently and to understand people. The third part of it was mindfulness, pain body meditation. You can study more about this in the book, The Power of Now. You can sit with the emotions and breathe through them and allow them to come out of your nervous system so that your entire past along with your present is settled down. There is peace in your nervous system. And the fourth part was the NLP. You can use NLP techniques to scramble up memories, really distance yourself from the situation so you're no longer a victim to it. And the fifth part, which was redefining ourselves from the good that is in us and the good that has happened in life. If you enjoyed this video, just let me know in the comments which one of those 5 really resonated with you. My greatest intention for those who are watching till this point is for you to know that it is possible to heal your past. You don't have to be defined by it. You can have a completely different life that no one even remembers your past, neither do you. You can have a totally new experience of life because there is no strategic value of holding a negative identity from your past. It has no real value. You can have what you do, just type in the chat saying, I choose to live a new life. I love you. And whatever you've gone through, my greatest hug to all of you. We've been through a lot. We've come out of it. And now it's a chance to move forward. I love you all and I'll see you in another video. Let me know in the comments, likes, share, subscribe, and what do you want me to make a video on next. I love you, appreciate you, and namaste.